legislature that you trust, ask them. If there are 3 or 4, ask them. We could not possibly have all caught Marlboro fever and just be wanting to stay forever. There is no logic in that. Let's not be like the liberals and give people platitudes and theories about how business or money works instead of asking someone who actually knows. What we will be doing if we pass this a few years from now is we will be screaming at our legislators to overhaul our car engine, and why haven't you got it done in the 15 minutes that we gave you? Folks, we'll still do Second Amendment stuff and we'll still do feel-good abortion bills, but when it comes to the really deep, dark stuff that needs to be fixed, it'll never be stopped. In the legislative branch, your branch, the one that really protects you, will continue to be the weakest branch. You'll have mainly the king and the judges. And by the way, Tim Jacobs has got a Facebook post that I took a picture of where he advocated doing away with the legislature. Folks, that's not constitutional. But like I said, but then that only leaves kings and judges. And people don't realize that the main thing that we do is not vote. The main thing that we do is these people that call and say, they took my kids. Or like this lady who worked for Lanny, Fight, who they took the 2-year-old. And Jana, you know, we were in Key West. We were in Boca Raton, then we were in Key West. First on a conference and then on vacation. And she was very patient as I sat on the phone day after day screaming. Usually I wasn't screaming. Usually I was speaking in a normal voice. But sometimes I was screaming. And saying, this 2-year-old, you know. Because we had a woman we had a doctor down at the border that heads up the Pediatric Association, and she was saying that we do permanent damage to these kids. And by the way, that's a testimony we got in JPR. And I had my daughter and other liberals calling me up and said, what do you think about this? And I said, what I think is you need to help me in Arkansas. That's what I think. We're taking kids here in Arkansas. We're taking kids from their families here in Arkansas. I don't know those kids, those families down there, but I know about here. And at the same time, she mentioned a 2-year-old that you saw at that same time. This 2-year-old from here. And had all kinds of relatives that were wonderful people. And we kept this 2-year-old in foster care for 45 days. Only time in my life I've ever texted the governor. I've got some friends that do it all the time. I say, you know, he's busy. Only time I ever bothered the governor, said, Governor, we can't leave this 2-year-old in foster care. She's got family. I have doubts she should even be taken away at all, but she's got family. And I passed a law that said she ought to be there. I know I've taken way too long. I'm going to spend from now to November working on this. See, that's the other thing. What I want to be working on is child welfare, because this very well may be my last session. But you can't do that, because that's just not how it works. When everybody says, oh, 8 years ought to be long enough, well, you know, all of a sudden water comes up in Garland County, and you know, it just doesn't work quite that way. It passes. I'll do my last session, and I'll let whoever comes along, God bless you, come in and do your best. And just like I did when I left the Quorum Court, until I was in the state senate, I didn't go back but twice in 20 years. So it's y'all's now. I won't, you know, the thing that bugs me, Steve, is those people are still going to call me about those kids. You know, and I say, you know, I'm going to say, you're going to have to call Senator so-and-so, you're going to call House Member, well, they can't do anything. They won't do anything. I say, I'm sorry, it's not my job anymore. Folks, these big things, and the reason I talk about that is because these big things don't happen in 2 years, and they don't happen in 4 years, and you don't, and again, we don't see them. And I'm telling you, the good ones don't want to stay forever. I'm telling you, it's not where I ever wanted to be to start with. I will take my 50 hours a week, and I will do something else. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for sending me to start with. But guys, it's not just enough that you vote against this thing. It'll be us that runs government. It won't be the liberals. It'll be the conservatives that runs government. You can't just not vote for this thing. You've got to go out and get people. You've got to get people to understand how bad this is. Because if they weren't making it permanent, I might just want to do it. But they're going to make it, nobody will ever fix it. And it's going to be a tragedy for this state. Again, won't be, it's like people who live foolishly and, that just show up for work when they want to and just do all kinds of stupid things with their kids, etc. They never know how bad their life is because they don't know how things ought to be. But it'll be bad. Thank you. I don't know if there's any time for questions or